Well, hello, thank you for joining me today again on the Church History Trail. You're very welcome to the programme. And where we are is we're actually between Ballynahinch and Kaiduff, and we're actually at the temple. And we're outside St Andrew's Church here at the temple. And as you can see the sign there, it says St Andrew's. That's either KILLANEY or KILLANEY, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, so I'm going to go for KILLANEY. And as you can see, it's St Andrew's KILLANEY, Sundays at 12. And you can see the Scottish flag there of St Andrews. And so this is the church, and we're here to look at a particular grave, and I'm going to take you up and I'm going to show you that grave. And it's actually a military grave, and it's a family who's buried there, and it's actually a colonel who's buried there. And so I'm going to take you up and let you see that. But in 1865, the Marquess of Downshire, he generously donated the land here to build a new church that replaced the older church of KILLANEY. And I've done a few videos there in KILLANEY. All that's left of it is the old graves, the old grave yard. But it actually goes back to the Anglo-Norman times. There used to be a church there, of course, but all that's left now is the old graveyard. But certainly packs a lot of history. It's got a big connection with John de Courcy. It's also got a connection with the 1641 rebellion, the 1690 Williamite Wars, and the 1798 rebellion, along with various other periods as well. So make sure you check out those wee videos. Now, the church was consecrated in 1867 as St John the Evangelist, and was known by that name until 1904. And by 1915 it was referred to as St Andrews. It was actually referred to as such for the first time on the 3rd of October 1915. So we're just going around the side of the church now. And where we're heading is we're heading to that clump of trees there, because that is the WALSHE memorial. And it says on it that it's Reverend Stephen Walsh AM, in memory of 3 of his children who died in infancy. The Reverend Stephen Walsh, MATCD, late incumbent of St Nicholas Church, Mauritius, died at Glen Dran House, Creevy Tenant, 31st October 1909, age 73. Also his widow Agnes Milling Welsh died 7th of March 1912, aged 69 years. And it's this grave here that also contains the colonel, because it says, and Colonel George Gordon, Joseph Welsh, MA of 2 Hamilton Place, London, retired Colonel, Royal Artillery, and he died on the 31st of December 1958, aged 85 years. And so that's the Colonel George Gordon Joseph Welsh, and he's buried here, so he is. You can see 1876 there on the bottom, and at the top there you can see the Reverend Stephen Welsh. And so I've read a lot of that information out to you. You can see the Colonel there, Colonel George Gordon Joseph Welsh. And so then there's also another slab then at the just beside it, and it's erected by Jane Jones, Belfast, in loving remembrance of her brother George Gordon, who departed this life 17th of July 1877, aged 60 years, and of her cousin Elizabeth McGee, and daughter of the late Hugh McGee. And if you remember, there was the original Hugh McGee, whether they're related here or not, they probably are. But the original Hugh McGee, if you remember, was a Williamite, and it's meant to be 4 brothers of the McGees come over here. And but certainly Hugh was granted land here. He stayed in this part, and he actually stayed. There was another man come over with him, and Edgar Robert Edgar, and both joined the Williamite army in Scotland and then made their way over here with the Williamite army. And they were given land here. Now, in 1882, part of the houses were actually remained, the original house, the gable wall and such of the two houses. So I'm hoping to find them, but that was 1882 or around about that I read that article was wrote. So whether they're still standing or not, I don't know. But it definitely does give good directions in that article. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to have a wee look at that later, see if I can find those. But it says there, daughter of the late Hugh McKee of Creevy Tenant, who departed this life 1st of September 1895, and Hugh Walshe, Justice of the Peace of Creevy Tenant, who died 19th of August 1942, and so forth. And as I say there, you can see the 1876. So that's the grave of the Colonel. So it is. And it's a fantastic plot, this. And it's lovely with the 4 trees. Absolutely fantastic, isn't it? So that's the grave of Colonel George Gordon Joseph Walshe. And you can see the tower there of the church. So I'm going to take you a wee walk around and let you see the church. And of course that's the Colonel's grave. So I'm going to take you a wee walk around and let you see the church. And of course that's the tower. And beautiful countryside here, no doubt about it. So I'll take you down here, give you a wee view of it, just from a slight distance. Hopefully you're not blinded by the sun. So we'll see if we can find those gable walls. But as I say, that article that I read was from 1882, so I doubt if they're still standing, but we'll have a look and see. So it's not really known why this church was changed from St John to St Andrews. And nobody really knows the exact date of when that happened. So that's a bit of a mystery. So if any of the YouTubers out there knows the answer to that, why did this church change its name from St John to St Andrews? And also, what date did that happen? Because there's no official date or reason for that happening, but it was certainly St John the Evangelist, and it was known by that name up until 1904, and then by 1915, as I say, it was referred to as St Andrews, and it was referred to, as I say, by that name on, first of all, on the 30th of October 1915, but whether it was referred to, there's no official reason why it was changed. So whether it was referred to St Andrews before that date, I don't know. So if you know, why don't you leave me a wee comment. So again, thanks for watching, and God bless.